questionnaire कैसा होता है, what are the typical questions they carry on, and uh, regarding Ripple, I would definitely say that he is a current student of IIM Ahmedabad, and उन्होंने अपने lifetime में he has cleared 3 to 4 times IMT interview. So Ripple, over to you, brother. And it is really an honor for all of us to hear your expertise in everything. And we'll make it very informal because the transition, I have always seen and witnessed in my entire life that transition, knowledge transfer, थोड़ा informal जब होता है चीजें, subject to subject हम principle पे बात करते हैं, subject पे बात करते हैं, तो ज़्यादा clear होता है. So over to you, Ripple. Thank you so much, guys. I'll be there in the background, and definitely if there would be any intervention needed, I will be there. Thank you.
Sure. Thanks a lot, Sagar. Thanks a lot for setting the context. Hello, everyone. This is Ripple Vach here, current student at IIM Ahmedabad. I just got information from Sagar that you guys are preparing for. You guys will be appearing for interviews for your MBA journey, and I thought, why not have a word with you, try to see how can I help you guys, be with you, if possible, share my experiences and journey to ensure that you guys achieve the success that you're looking forward to. Awesome. So a brief about myself. I essentially have I have 6 years of experience professionally in the industry. I am studying at IIM Ahmedabad, and believe me, I have at times appeared to cracked multiple interviews, both in the job environment and in the MBA's application setup. So when I say that, what I mean is that in giving interviews and understanding what is expected out there is something that I have been through multiple times. I have lived this journey, and I have been in the situation where you guys would be right now, with a lot of anxiety, with a lot of questions on what would happen, how do we prepare, how do we mentally ensure that we are in the right zone, how do we ensure that our approach is right. So yeah, I've kind of been there multiple times, though I've cleared IMT interviews in past, and I have also applied to numerous foreign universities, cleared those interviews, applied to multiple MBA colleges in India, cleared them, and finally chose that, okay, let me go ahead with IIM Ahmedabad. So yeah, that's a bit about why I think I can add some value and share my experiences with you guys. Coming to what is the most important aspect of your MBA interviews, and I believe MBA interview at IIM Ahmedabad and IMT are quite similar. Every college has their way of taking interviews. Every college has their speciality of how they evaluate a candidate. How do they look at someone who is appearing for an interview? The similarity is very much there between, let's say, IIM and I, because they look at your overall profile. They look at how calm, composed you are, how ready or fit you are for an MBA. And I'm sure that you guys would be on track to prepare for the basic questions that introduce yourself. Tell me some. They are questions that are asked in different kind of wordings, but they essentially mean the same. Introduce yourself. Uh, what are your post MBA goals? Why are you coming for an MBA? Why are you a good candidate for our MBA program? What are your strengths, weaknesses? So these are common questions that I think anyone would prepare for. Ensure that you are prepared for answers you are prepared with the answers for these questions, but hear me out. The key, and you can note it down, the key to cracking the MBA interview is be prepared, but don't appear as someone who has prepared. I mean, be prepared, but don't look prepared. There is a fine line between preparing a lot and then in the interview appearing as if whatever you are, this is your personality, and this is not something that you prepared, this is not something that you have been thinking about day and night in the past 20 days, 25 days, or 10 days. So that is the key, and that is the perfect spot to be in. Among the candidates who would apply for the college, who would get interview calls, there will be a set of candidates who are not very thorough with their answers, their personality types, their approach, strengths, weaknesses. They probably would be rejected, or they probably would not make it. Then there are candidates who know about their personality, who know about themselves, who are well prepared and are also very calm during the interview. They are not really tensed. They are themselves. They know their strengths. They know how to use their strengths to win this battle. And then there are a few candidates who are very well prepared, very, very well thorough with what they want to do, but then their interview is like, this guy has practiced things a lot and he is just repeating what he has practiced. It shouldn't come up as if यार ये क्वेश्चन का आंसर ये बंदा पहले से सोच के आया था. That shouldn't be the case. You should be thorough with everything, but you should play it cool during the interview. You should be yourself and you should not be nervous. So these are a set of generic tips before we get into slight details. uh, talking about the details, I had mentioned high level, a set of questions that are important. Now, introduce yourselves is a question that appears in mostly 60-70% of the interview questions. And I mean, ensure that you have good answer to this question and you cover multiple aspects. What people do is, in introduce yourself, people at times just talk about their college life. They just talk about their most recent job, depending on the profile of the candidate. They might talk about let's say their personality trait. But what this question means it is, this question gives you an opportunity to present all your strengths and present yourself as a package. So when someone is asking you to introduce about yourself, ensure that you touch up 3 to 4 topics that are differentiators for you. For example, if someone asks me to introduce myself, I will simply tell in an interview setup, obviously, what I will tell is that I belong from XYZ place, and add why is it critical or why is it important, what benefit do I have by belonging from a certain place. For example, I belong to Surat, Gujarat. Okay, so in the interview I'll mention that I belong to Surat, I come from there. So I have seen a lot of business setups, so my mind has been set accordingly. I know how management kind of functions, right? In Gujarat, that's speciality. uh, I have been pretty active in extracurriculars throughout my school life. So this is one sentence, and along with that, I have also been decent in academics. So without being very specific, I'm just touching a zone of my school life, and then the next sentence will be that, okay, then in I went to XYZ place, XYZ college, might be same city, might be different city. For me, it was an entirely different state. So I just touch up about what have I done in college, maybe some coordination of event, maybe I was in sports. So there can be different personality types, but ensure that you talk about where you belong from, what college did you go, if you're working, then what kind of work are you up to, apart from that, what are your hobbies? Just touch upon hobbies and be as natural as possible. What people think is that, yeah, I will, even though that person is really really good at dancing, for instance, or he's really really good at playing guitar, he might come up and say, okay, yaar, my hobbies are giving extempore, or I'm a public speaker by hobby, whereas in reality his hobbies are very different. So ensure that you talk about your genuine hobby, because most likely what will happen is, whatever you have said in your introduction, they would want to discuss one aspect and go into a little detail to know you better. The idea of this question is to know you better, and whether you are a genuine person who holds that substance. That is the most critical element of this particular question. They will listen to your prepared answer. Most of us have a prepared answer. They listen to your prepared answer. They will 20% look for, okay, how good this answer was, and they'll 80% try to look at, okay, what can be my next topic. I mean, okay, are these his genuine interests, or is this his genuine personality? And that comes out. If I am faking it, if I'm talking about something that I actually haven't done, or I don't like, or I just want to position so that I get some brownie points or some goodwill, interviewers, they catch it very easily. 80 to 90% of candidates who really fail at interview, they do that because they pretend to be someone else and they are not their natural self. So be your natural self. Ensure that you are pretty comfortable in your interview. I think that's about introducing yourself. Apart from that, the next question probably will be, why do you want to do an MBA? Or it might be positioned in a slightly different manner on what are your short-term goals, long-term goals. Uh, so in that case, you should really, really have that, what in your personal, I know, or this is, let's say, reality out there, that most of us do an MBA to go a level above, to ensure that we, let's say, get a good job after MBA, to ensure that it's a desire we get. It might be monetary, it might be that you want to be in a business setup, but then uh, in an interview you should highlight your interest and talk about it, that after I want to do my MBA in XYZ, let's say marketing, and after that I want to work in a company which is, let's say, a startup, or which is, let's say, an established company. Everyone might have the different goals, but talk about what kind of setup do you want to work in. You can say that I want to work as a manager in Reliance Jio. Pretty decent answer. That can be your short term goal. But if you talk about this, it has a pitfall, that what if Geo doesn't select you or something. So answer can be, I want to, in short term, I want to work as a manager in a tech enabled company, in a company that's disrupting the tech space, something like Geo. So that will be a very good answer, because it kind of ensures that you are open to multiple things, but also you understand where do you want to be. And long term goal, let's say 5 years, 7 years, can be that I keep working over there, I explore marketing and eventually reach to a VP level. Or if you want to start up your own business, or if you want to explore different industries, your interest can also be that, let's say I start with marketing, but I also look at operations, and slowly and gradually, when I understand the entire business, I take the judgment, and hence it makes me a better leader. So your goal can be vague, it can be very specific. Try to keep, try to maintain it in between, so that you appear as a good candidate who knows what he wants to do, but still doesn't know everything. If you know everything, then the MBA is meaningless for you. If you know ki nahi, if let's say you go to an interview and you tell that I want to become a vice president at whatever Swiggy, then okay, why are you coming here? I mean, you know your journey. Go to that company. Over time, you'll become that person. So I think that's about the goal. But ensure that you have thought about it and you have your interests in line. So yeah, that is one question which is very important. And sorry for the Swiggy reference. I used to work as manager in Swiggy, so I keep you giving that reference. Apart from that, I think strengths, weaknesses, come up with genuine strengths. The strength can be as simple as that I am good with conversations. I talk a lot. If that is your personality, you can use it as strengths. A lot of people have done that, cracked their interviews, but just position your strength in a manner that it will help you in management. If your strength is that you are very talkative, you talk to a lot of people, you have a lot of friends, so you can use it and say that, I am good with building relations. I am good with knowing different people, understanding how they are good for a particular role, so this will make me a better manager. This is why I am a better candidate for the MBA over here. These kind of strengths will play out, and don't worry if you think that, uh, I am XYZ kind of a person, my strength won't be useful. No, believe me, I am a gamer, and I have told it in every interview that my strength is that I don't get bogged down in situations because I am a gamer. I know what winning losing is. I can react to situations fast. Something that is a very casual normal strength. Half of the people, or more than half, would be ashamed that yaar agar main gaming bataunga as my hobby, they will think that this guy is not serious, or rather, let me uh, sorry, not hobby but strength, let me talk about something else. But no, if you can position yourself as the right candidate, then your strength that you have, and ensure that you think of 3 to 4 strengths. One should be serious, which is very related to professional. 2 or 3 can be a personal trait that will help you in terms of management, that will help you during your MBA journey, or during even after your placements, when you actually become manager at a decent organization after getting placed from the college. So that is all that they look for, and ensure that you don't have just one strength. People want to look at you and ensure that you are matured enough. You understand that not only one strength, but people do have 4, 5, 7, 10 strengths. Don't even talk about 10, but ensure that 3 to 4 strengths are there. You talk about 2 to 3. If they want to listen to more, you can talk about next 1 or 2 strengths also.
Hi, I
So,
have something to add here. Really
sure.
sorry. Yes, just I'm sure a lot of students are benefiting from whatever insights you have to share. But along with that, and second thought, I'm sure that they would also be having some questions. I hope you guys are, just taking a note of the, information that you are hearing right now. In case you guys have any questions, the chat box is open. You guys can put in your questions to me, and as in whenever I get that question, whenever I get the time, so you can let me know when you're going to open the round for question answers, and I will be dictating those questions one by one. The candidates might also have some questions to ask.
Sure. I mean, thanks a lot for bringing that in, guys. If you have questions, feel free to post it to ma'am, and yeah, I'll address them.
Yes, so you guys can just put in your questions in the chat box, and I'll be the one asking questions on your behalf. You may continue. Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot. Yeah, so guys, I was talking about trends. I think I made my point. I hope you got to understand what I was trying to convey. Strengths we all have, we all think about it day in, day out. The tricky question is about weakness. They ask about your weakness. They do. They really want to understand how honest you are, plus how prepared you are. Asking about your weaknesses is that question which, even if you think right now that what are my weaknesses, or what are your weaknesses as an individual, you might come up with an answer, but you might be thinking, yeah, if I talk about this as my weakness, they might think that this guy, is not the right candidate. But the very simple, clear objective behind asking this question is to understand, can you handle pressure? Can you be at back foot and still come out as a winner? Weakness can be as simple as, I talk to a lot of people, I'm over social. So it can be your strength, but again, you can also position this as your weakness. Okay, I talk to a lot of people, I am over social. What are the negative aspects of it? Let's say I spend a lot of time, it helps me somehow, but I end up spending a lot of time in conversations discussing where I could have, let's say, studied, or where I could have done something that's purely productive, that's purely about my work, my whatever goodness that every individual has in their life. So that is possible, but then you can talk about it as a weakness, and then you can say that, I'm working on it. I have ensured that I keep my conversations under control. That is one example. On the other hand, you can use other weaknesses, such as, I tend to be very calm when we are having conversations. In terms of conflict also, I'm a very easygoing personality, so at times I feel that I do not put my stand so right out there. I do not voice my opinion very clearly, because I feel that, let's be constructive, let's be cooperative. That can be one more weakness, that at times it has kind of put me in a disadvantage. And then you can be prepared with a mitigation to that weakness, that I understand this is my weakness, I realize it, and I have started working on it. I've ensured that at situations I don't really stay back, or stay defensive. I ensure that my views are put across, and I've done this in 2 or 3 situations in past. So I'm working on my weakness, not right out there, but then yeah, this is something that I want to improve on. If you can connect it back to the MBA, then nothing like it. That, this is my weakness, and through the MBA, I will get a lot of opportunities to work on it and improve it. Already I'm working on it, but through MBA, this will be crazy. And if I remove this weakness, then I'm ready for everything out there. Hence, your MBA is important. Such kinds of answers will be really, really amazing. You can talk about genuine, very specific weakness also, but then yeah, I think you would have got the gist, hopefully. uh, Apart from that, I think these are the major questions about goals, weakness, strengths. Tell me something about yourself. About personality, I told that, be yourself, be very, very open, be very genuine, but read the room, understand that what is the tone that they're asking the question is. Be very conversational and smart during the interview. Never be too open that you just keep on laughing, just keep on having a very, very light mood, and you don't appear as serious. Appear as someone who has decent personality, but still is very open minded, is very friendly, is very easy to have conversations with, or genuine. uh, Common pitfalls, common things to avoid is that don't appear as very rigid. Don't appear as someone who clearly dictates, or shows their authority, that, what, I've done this, I've done XYZ things, hence I am the best, there is no one like me. or when the interviewers have a habit of questioning you and putting you in a situation where you are at back foot. Let's say you tell that this college is really good, the college where you studied from. There might be an interviewer out of 2 or 3 panelists, one might ask you that, your college is not at all good, or your marks are not at all good, you're not fit for this. The instinct might be that, no, you're wrong, sir. This is not the case. This is actually good college. Or there might be multiple situations where you might feel that, yeah, let me answer him. Let me give him an answer and ensure that he doesn't think that I'm wrong or I am not having any advantage. But in such situations, ensure this is called pressure test, which is very common. Ensure that you kind of acknowledge and understand the reason behind why they are telling this. Say that, I understand you might feel such way because of XYZ reason. I mean, you can just say, I understand that you might be saying it because, let's say, my college is not there in the ranking or whatever. But then I have a slightly different opinion, and I believe it is really no less than any other college because of ABC reasons. We get to interact with seniors, we have XYZ branches, we have some number of people, the college is located in XYZ place. So ensure that you accept criticism. You tell them that, okay, this is your point of view, I understand. There are a few benefits or few winning points that you might not know of, and let me talk about it. That is what they expect. They expect a guy who comes out as a winner. So yeah, that is more or less about the interview experience, guys. I think I've talked about similar agenda, that don't be very nervous, go be free flowing, and don't also be very rigid. You should come out as a person who has good personality, good capabilities, who is good with conversations, opinions, but at the same time is not arrogant. So yeah, that's pretty much about what I have to offer. Few more don'ts is that don't contradict yourself, and don't never in an argument come out as you know what, okay, I don't deserve anything or I am bad. They might put you in tricky situations, but always ensure that this is who I am. I think there are few good things, bad things, but I really am the right candidate over here. uh One point that I did not touch, which I think most of you or most of the candidates out there are really worried about, that is general knowledge, knowledge test. They keep on asking questions. I mean, when I also take interviews, in a lot of cases, I keep on asking questions that are related to facts. At times, people don't know it. At times, people know it. But the thought process behind asking such question is not to say that, okay, if you know the answer, then you are selected. And if you don't know the answer, you are rejected. The thought process is that, is the guy really genuine? Does he really understand how to react in situations? For example, someone might ask me that, who was the prime minister in 1980? Me being me, I don't know the answer. That is okay. A lot of people are strong at GK, they might answer the question. But if I don't know the answer, I should have that humility to say that this, on this topic, I don't know. But I think XYZ can be, might have been the prime minister, if you even remotely know that answer. A lot of people, what they do is, they are not sure about the answer, but still they tell, at that point of time, maybe XYZ was the prime minister back then. And then if that answer is wrong, they get caught, and then the interview turns into a nightmare. So yeah, not knowing all the answers is impossible. if you knew all the answers in the world, then you wouldn't be doing MBA. No one knows all the answers. But then, yeah, be slightly prepared, be slightly kind of do your research well. You have a few days with you. So ensure that you know the basics of the field that you are getting into. Let's say if you're going for MBA in marketing, then ensure that you know a few things about what is e-commerce, what is digital marketing, what are the recent trends, one or two companies that might have done good in terms of their marketing. Let's say as simple as a Feviquick ad. That's a very simple marketing ad. As simple as the Hamara Bajaj ad. There are lot of ads, lot of marketing brilliance out there. Then they might ask about brand value. They might ask about things that are related to marketing. Not everyone knows those concepts or those things, but you might have heard about it sometime in your life. So you might be able to come up with instance. For example, if someone asks me that why is branding important? Even if I don't know the exact answer, I might talk about I might say that okay, I don't really don't understand branding as such, but then it is important, it is critical because it builds customer trust. For example, if someone comes and tells me that he's providing Apple material, the Apple Mac or iPhone, I would kind of have high confidence because a lot of people are using, they are known for their brilliance, their brand is there. If I talk about a same phone with same or better features, but from a different company, people might not trust it as much. This is because how Apple has built his brand. So that is about branding. So have opinions, have slight understandings about these small concepts, but don't really be bogged down if you haven't read the exact definition or if you haven't seen that, yaar ye to term mere ko pata hi nahi tha. Don't be in that situation. Be very open, be very confident with your answer and your approach. And if you don't know an answer, tell that okay sir, I don't know, but according to me this might be the approach. They more often than not check how are you approaching things rather than do you know all the facts, because this is not UPSC interview, right? This is MBA interview, so they look at someone who is really open for management, not just with all the knowledge of the world. Yeah guys, I think thanks for listening to all of what I had to say. I think I've given a lot of tips, a lot of pointers. uh, if
Guys, let's come up with questions. Sanjam, if you want to jump into the process and come with a question.
Yeah, very good evening.
Yes, so I do have some questions. People have posted it in the chat box. Should I continue with the questions?
yeah, sure, go ahead.
Yeah, all right. Okay, so the first person has asked, is there any particular time limit or if they should, time their introduction? And of course, even I have come across this very common question. They should, what is the ideal time limit and if they should time or not their introduction?
Okay. So there is no ideal time, but ensure that your introduction is somewhere close to 30-40 seconds to 1.5 minutes. That is the sweet spot of having an introduction, so that you cover most of your good points and still you don't sound boring. So timing about introduction is that you should cover a lot of things and you should not sound boring. Most of the guys, either they sound very boring because their introduction goes to 2 minutes, 3 minutes. uh, it might even go longer. I mean, 2 minutes is still acceptable if you have a very strong introduction, but don't really go beyond 2-3 minutes, and don't keep it as short as 20 seconds or 30 seconds, because then the impression is that this guy does not either he does not have enough substance, that means he does not have a lot of things to talk about, or he has not prepared about it. So yeah, keep it somewhere close to 45 seconds to 1.5 minutes. I mean, upward of 1 minute would be recommended, around 1 minute. But yeah, that's the recommended way.
All right. So the next question is, how important is subject knowledge, and what role does it play if they are not coming from the relevant educational background? Say they're not coming from a commerce or management field, and they're coming from a diverse, a different educational field. So how important is subject knowledge?
Okay, so I'll assume that subject knowledge would be their current subjects, what they have studied, right? Okay, I'll assume that and go ahead with the answer. So current subject knowledge is not, I mean, since you have lived the journey, you have went through that curriculum, knowing high level about those subjects is important. You should understand. For example, if you are a mechanical engineer and you really don't know anything about induction motor or such kind of things, might get a little tricky, because you have studied it. You might somewhat remember a few things. That doesn't mean that you write a 2-minute essay on induction motor, but you might have some idea about it. So they would ask you questions just to understand that, do you bring some of that knowledge or some of that understanding, not exactly knowledge, but some of that understanding which will help you in your MBA journey. That is what they're looking at. And if your question was the other way, that should you have management knowledge already, the answer is no. But you should have the management curiosity. You should, let's say, not be thorough with all the concepts that you're going to learn about marketing, finance, operations, but still you should have a high level idea on, in marketing, these 2-3 things are very interesting for me. I want to study this. In finance, maybe P&L statement is important. Don't get don't get scared by the words that I'm using. It's just it will depend on your interest. In operations, let's say I really want to know that how can I reduce anything that you come across, just ensure that you are curious about learning things that will come to you during an MBA, because that shows high intent and that shows a strong candidate who understand what he has learned, and he knows, has slight an understanding of what he will learn, and he's curious at the right place. Yeah, so I hope that answers your question. So yeah, do we have more questions?
Yes, we do have more questions. I'm going to skip those questions that are almost similar to the most of the questions which have been previously answered. All right, and I'm going to quickly come to the most important one. So somebody here has asked that how can we have a two-sided interview round rather than just going with a question answer round. This is how it has been typed here. I'll just exactly phrase it, and we'll have to understand best as per our capacity and understanding. How can we make interview two-sided rather than question answer round?
Understood.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the point. I think I get the intent there. And this is a common fear. This is a common fear. And this happens that your interview is like a proper question answer rapid fire round. Has happened with me also. But I mean, it depends on number one, how your personality appears. If you appear as someone who is very arrogant, it is probably going to happen that it will be a rapid fire question answer round. If you appear as someone who is very laid back and relaxed, it might come as a question answer round. But if you are someone who is interested, who is eager, and who is attentive as well, with the right posture, with the right presence over there, then they would also like to know more about you and like to discuss a lot more about you. if you are a person who has mugged up all the answers, and when questions are asked, you are like thinking, okay, what should I do, what should I do, and then speaking, then the next moment is that, okay, he spoke about one word, let me catch and ask a question about it. But rather, if your answers are very, very fluid and conversational, this might sound abstract. It did to me uh, back a long time back. But then, if your answers are very easygoing and smooth, then they will not really grill you and ask back to back questions, but rather they would want to have meaningful discussion with you. And okay, one crazy trick over here is that whenever someone asks a question, start with a one line answer and then provide the background. In that case, they will understand that, okay, the question he has answered and he is explaining the thought process behind it. What at times what people do is, if the question is asked that, okay, what is good about Gujarat, I try to think and speak. You can always take some time that, okay, sir, let me just please give me 5 seconds, let me put my thoughts in one place. Or if the question is really complex or something that you are taken aback, you can tell that, sir, please give me 10 seconds, let me just think and answer, and have a flow in your mind. Don't answer a question that, sir, Gujarat na, let me say, okay, Gujarat is good because of the government, Gujarat is good because of the business over there. Ensure that your answer is well thought, well structured, comes out very, very smoothly. And if in your answers you have pointers to justify that, why do you think in one manner, it is amazing. Just for an example, if someone asks me that, we have a lot of people coming from your background, why should we select you over others? Very random question. I might in one approach say, sir, because I am better, I have good experience, I have I have worked, I have studied in a good college, I have learned a lot of things over there. So this is a very vague answer, and this is an answer which comes out as unprepared, so they'll immediately ask me a next question. Rather, if you frame it in a way that, sir, I'm a good candidate because I'm an all-rounder, I'm good at studies, I'm a sincere guy, uh, I have not done extracurriculars, I've done it somewhat but not so much, and I have talked to a lot of people, so I have an open or easygoing personality. So having a structured answer always helps you. And then if they are still not interrupting you, then you can start with the flow that I mentioned 3 or 4 points now. The first point is that I'm an all-rounder. That is because I've played this, or I have studied over here, participated in XYZ things. So that is the best approach, which impresses and engages the panelist. So yeah, keep your first answer very crisp, and then ensure that you don't stop there. You continue a smooth flowing story.
All right. So the next question that I have here is, what if you don't know an answer to a question, and how can you politely deal with it?
Got it. So this is an interesting part, because the questions that are thrown at you, you'll need to understand whether the answer to that question is a fact or an opinion. I mean, the question can be as direct as, uh, when is America's Independence Day? What date? In that case, you can't guess, you can't tell anything. If you know the answer, then yes, tell the date. If you don't know the answer, then tell, sorry, sir, I don't know about it. Done. If the question is that, do you think India's economy is the best in the world? Or do you think India as a country is on the right track of growth, or do you think whatever, do you think Delhi is doing great in terms of taking right eco-friendly initiatives? In that case, you might not exactly have the answer, but you have a thought process over there. So let's say if you are asked that India really a superpower out there, or is India really a good country in terms of their financial muscle? You might say, I don't know everything about the facts, but yes, in the recent times, India has taken a lot of positive initiatives. Even in past, we are known for a lot of good things. You can talk about some history, and you can say that uh, the recent boom in terms of the software sector, the recent boom in terms of a lot of policies, plus how India has been having one of the best growth rates in the world. That is why India is, let's say, out there, and a very strong economy. So this is where you don't know the fact, but still you mention that I have an opinion, and I'm telling my opinion to you. So yeah, this is the way to deal with an answer. Never bluff when the answer is about a pure, or a question is about a pure fact. Tell, be very open that I don't know it. And even when if it is outside your comfort zone, let's say I don't play sports, for example, and I'm asked about, do you think Indian cricket team will win the next World Cup? I can politely say that I don't follow sports. I don't have a very strong opinion, but from what I've seen, we have good potential. We have 3 or 4 players who can really get it, get the cup for us. On the other hand, there are teams that might be good, but then XYZ reasons, I think this will happen. So yeah, that's the best way to deal with any question that you get.
All right. Thank you, sir. So the next question that I have up here is somebody has asked that what should be the format of a CV. However, here we're talking about the interview rounds here. So I would like to, sort of rephrase this question so that everybody can benefit, and it is on the topic line. So how can somebody talk about their professional experience while, differentiating between a menial task or a clerical job that they do day to day, and actually talk about their professional experience which holds some value? You get what I'm saying? How they can, I think they can benefit a lot if they understand the difference between how they're supposed to talk about the roles and responsibilities and the work that they do, and it should not be clerical work that they speak of.
Got it. Got it. Yes. So in terms of your resume or CV, when you're preparing it, either when you're preparing it or in this context, when you are explaining it, always have the star format in mind. I'm not pushing a format, but essentially for any task or any job that you have done, start with the impact that you have made. Let's say if your work is actually very repetitive, or it's clerical, you think that this is a work that even anyone else can do, I don't have a very differentiating work profile. But then talk about numbers, talk about impact that you have created. You might have a very very simple experience saying that I work as a back-end staff in uh, XYZ company. Let's say I work as a back-end staff in Reliance Petroleum. You might think that you really don't know a lot about businesses, you have not done a lot of things. But then after this, start with the division that I work for X division, and I take care of 200 requests in a week, or I handle a plan that creates an impact of 50 million dollars, or whatever, any creates an impact of 50 lakh rupees or 5 lakh rupees. So start with numbers, and start with the overall impact of your work. In the past 5 years, I have worked in 2 different departments. In my, for example, I'm giving an example, and in my recent departments over the last 2 years, I have handled more than 500 customer queries or 500 customers. I have worked with more than 20 different accounts. So that is a statement which adds value, even though your work is as simple as uh, getting queries from one account and just replying to that, or getting quotations or some information, accepting, rejecting it. But then ensure that you understand and convey the bigger picture or the bigger impact that you're working on. Start with that, and then gradually and slowly talk about what you as an individual did over there. So yeah, that is the approach which ensures that even if you have not, you think that you don't have a very strong profile, you can make it appear as if you understand things and what you have done, you know the impact. So that's about it. Just call out the impact, and then the situation will flow in the story, because once they're convinced with the right impact, they will ask you that, okay, what is your day-to-day scene, what is the situation like. All of those things will be a free flow kind of a conversation. If that happens, then probably your interview is going positive, because they are sold out on the result. Now they want to know about how do you achieve this. Yeah, I
Yes.
think
Yes.
that's
Thank you.
about it.
So I think to sum it up, we've pretty much covered all the questions that the candidates have asked. Some of the questions are still left unanswered. However, I feel that those are generic questions, and before the question answer round, those questions were already answered. But nonetheless, we've still noted down these questions, and we can, we'll definitely come back to you guys. Because of the time paucity, we'll have to, conclude the question answer round as of now.
Sure. Yeah. So I think, guys, I hope this session was really really helpful. And if there are further issues, questions, doubts, if you are stuck, you can reach out to the team. You can reach out to the ma'am or Sagar, or maybe you can connect with me on LinkedIn and ask me about things. Ripple Vachir, you can note the name. I think it's easy to find me. And if you are stuck with your preparation, I think yeah, that's pretty easy. Okay, so hope I was able to help. Uh, yeah, thanks a lot for staying here, being with me, and hope
Yeah.
you can, all the best for your interviews. I
Thank
mean,
you.
hope you guys crack it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. It was indeed a wonderful session. And I'm sure that, now that, with all of the insights, they have been benefited a lot. And a lot of these questions have been covered. Thank you. Thank you so much. And if we are not left with any questions, we can quickly, wrap this meeting up. We're very, very glad with your presence, and thank you everybody here. If I go on and take everybody's name, it's going to be a very long night for all of us. So thank you everybody for patiently joining this session, and I hope it added some value. And wish you all the best for your upcoming interview rounds. Thank you so much everybody, and kudos to you, sir. Thank you so much for being available at this late hour. Thank you everybody. With that being said, I think now we can quickly take a leave to this meeting, and we can wrap things up here. We can slowly and gradually start leaving out from the meeting room. Thank you so much.
Sanjam. Yeah, very, very good evening. Am I guys just audible? Just Sanjam, just confirm.
Yes, I can hear you, Rihwan.
Yeah, Ripple, very, very good evening. It's lovely to hear you loud and clear. And I'm really glad and bless you, Biche, because you were so humble with so clarity. And that's what really makes you a genuine person. And your journey towards IIM Ahmedabad should be fruitful. And we definitely look forward for amazing, beautiful success. And important is, yes, Sagar is there, and we all are, blessed that he's amazing with his thought process, simplicity. But yes, every now and then we are getting some added values through the networking, I'll say. So Ripple, it was amazing. And I believe that each and every participant is blessed by the thought process, because it's really that it means a lot, being oneself. आप जितना नेचुरल होंगे उतना ही पैनल आपको अप्रिशिएट करता है, और लाइफ में आपको उतने ही मौके मिलते हैं और आप सक्सेसफुली आगे बढ़ते जाते हैं. सो रिपल, ऑन दैट